Hello, everybody.
What up? What up?
My name is Tim Daniel. His name is Ben Brown. And welcome to finally, of Late Night Reds, brought to you by the Riverfront and the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Ben, the Late Night Red streak, call Vince Carter. It's over.
It's over. Speaking into existence, you know what I'm saying?
That's right, man. Finally, the Reds won a game on a Sunday. We are going to have to talk about the rest of the series, unfortunately. But had to make sure we finally got to say we got up to Schneid on a Sunday. We were done.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't getting to 10 Ls. 10 Ls wasn't happening on Sundays. All right,
No.
like that wasn't happening. By
Not
the way,
at all.
your dreads looking very long these days. They're getting there.
Yeah, dude, they're starting to fill out. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like I just noticed that the other day.
How long have you been growing those now?
Gosh, this is like year 4.
Okay.
Yeah, year 4.
I don't know if people may not believe this. When I met Ben like 16 years ago, he had a fro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hard to imagine. I mean, I've known you so long, but yeah, man. So I had an awesome weekend. Shout out USA Basketball. Both men and women just making my weekend with excellent gate performances. Buddy, Steph Curry.
Night.
Look at
Yeah,
Gary.
dude. Yeah.
I thought Ben was Ellie at first. That's awesome.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, we'll
I
take.
try to pet him. Listen, if I was that young and athletic, I'd be very happy.
Yeah. What up, Josh? We got Dave in the chat. Seth Shaner swinging by.
Oh, what's
Joey
good?
Good
What's good?
Pizza already chatting. Man. All right, let's just go ahead and let's talk about Groundhog Day starring Bill Murray. Oh no, that's just the Reds against the Brewers. My apologies.
Yeah.
Friday. Not good, Bob. I was recording with Bill and Nate. We did a hot takes episode during the game. Can't say I'm sad I missed it because it did not go very well. But a 8-3 loss where they started down 8-0, and David Bell made Carson Spires wear it. He was
he did, man.
Yeah,
he made him eat all 8 of those, dude. Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
Not fun. Saturday, 1-0 loss. Nick Martinez, awesome in this game, and they lose on a Rhys Hoskins solo shot. And then today, they start down 2-0. They come back and tie the game up. Santiago Espinal's a 2-run single. And then we get Ty Steve hitting a homer. And I tell you, man, between Tyler Stevenson and Devin Booker, I'm just taking major strides right now. Like,
yeah.
I talk bad about both those guys, and how I'm frustrated. And they both just start rocking it. But anyway, so let's play devil's advocate here, shall we? All right.
Yeah.
Yet another frustrating series overall against the Brewers, where once again you can't find a way to take a series from them. I think that's now 9 straight series they've lost against the Brewers, which is unbelievable. How's that possible for a division of foe? It's insane. But with that being said, boy, did they need that one today. Yeah, things were looking very, very bad coming out of yesterday.
Yeah. It, like, if you want to look at the silver lining, like I take the 1-0 loss. Even though you lost, it shows that you can compete with a good team. I mean, that's you're sitting there, you're in a position to win that game, and you lose one, like you said, on a Rhys Hoskins solo shot, is what it took to get over the hump. And then you come out today, you battle, and you get a good win.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is just really kind of makes you, it leaves just a weird taste in your mouth, because it's almost like it's mental now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mental thing against the Brewers. And you see that a lot with teams. So it's just, I just hate it. I hate it because, I think that that's a team that we could be better than.
For
and
sure.
you just don't.
Richard Thompson, boy, did you guys need a win by the Reds. They won on a Sunday. This is the theme this week. We got
Yes.
one. We got a Sunday victory.
Yes, we did.
If we could get another one next week against the really, really good Kansas City Royals, that would also be nice. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, man, it's a series where Friday they just had no chance. Friday was just, it was one of those days at the ballpark when everything was going Milwaukee's way. But yesterday you had chances to win. Today, obviously, you had chances to lose, and you found a way to pull the game off, which was, really character building. I thought Lodolo was fine today. I wouldn't say I thought he was really good, but I do want to say that it's the best he's looked in a little while. I think 2025 Nick Lodolo is going to be really, really awesome. But I think this might be the rest of the season might be a little bit just kind of, it's that stretch that Hunter Green had before Hunter Green turned into what we see him as now. I think that's going to happen the rest of the year for Lodolo, but next year he's going to be filthy.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there has to be some kind of learning curve, right? Like we talked about before, there are some things that he does that are just outstanding and really well, and then there's some times where he makes pitches and you just don't know why he did it. So Hunter Green was the same way. We talked about that all the time, about his maturity, his growth, the way that he uses the strike zone, the way that he uses his fastball, uses some other pitches. He's really learned how to pitch. So it's really promising to see Lodolo go through that process of learning how to pitch.
Yeah.
And people are trying to understand it because, like I said, in the beginning of the year, he was really good. But then people started laying off the junk. So then it's like, how do I learn how to pitch and be able to get outs without relying on people swinging at just bad pitches? So, and I think that's where he is now. Like I said, he had 3 earned runs today, and I'm not mad about it.
Got into the
I
sixth,
still think he got into the 6th, he looked better than he has the last couple starts. It's just a maturation process. So I'm still really high on him. I think that he's going to be a really good pitcher. It's just trying to figure out that growth and that growth mindset that he has to have in order to do it day in and day out.
I 1,000% agree with you. I thought that today, especially after he gave up the homer, you've kind of seen that in the past couple of weeks where, like, when he's been having these games where things just haven't been going his way, he's kind of almost, I wouldn't say he's become non-competitive, but you could tell he's kind of got his frustrations have kind of controlled his arm. And today was awesome. Today was what they needed to see him kind of take the step forward. Now, the next time he gets the ball will be against the 13 games over 500 Kansas City Royals at GABP. So that'll be Friday if I have my days correct. So that'll be interesting to see how he does that. But today was one of those games where it just was kind of like everything finally went the Reds' way for a change. It wasn't the outfield has some stupid play where they let the runner go in and just have a terrible relay throw, or it wasn't the umpire just completely takes the bat out of their hands. So it was nice. It was much needed. Hunter, strikeout, batter interference, double play was something I've never seen before. I can't say there's too many of those in the history of Major League Baseball. I'd have to take a wild guess on that. How about Alexis Diaz today? Just came out there and just gunned him down. I mean, that was nice. Seeing him be the Alexis Diaz of last year again, even if it was just for a day, was nice.
If only for a day.
If only for a day. But big, man. 4-3 week. You got the 304 against the Marlins. You get this one. So big picture, it was a fine week. Big picture, it's disappointing to lose another series of the Brewers. You have another one coming up at the end of the month where you have a 4-gamer and you have a doubleheader on Friday of that week. But you'll take today and you'll enjoy it. And that's what we're here to do. So Kerry, didn't feel like the Reds finally got some breaks. Yeah, it did feel like they did. All right, let's talk about some fun things too, man. Welcome back, Tucker Barnhart, back in the organization. Yeah. So, he's washed. really, really washed.
Yeah.
But he knows how to call a game, and he's been around for a long time. It's a minor league deal. At this point in the year, whatever. This might be his last go round of pro baseball. We don't know. But it's nice to see him back in the organization. Obviously, he's a fan favorite. I think it's great for the sake that I have all these talented dudes that are coming through the system right now that are pitchers. I have to imagine Rhett Lauder will probably end the year with Louisville to kind of give him that time to pitch with Barnhart and kind of like have him to kind of show him how to work a game at the big league level. But also, I'm kind of have this sneaky feeling come September, Tucker Barnhart will be on the big league roster and 3 catchers again. Yay, 3 catchers.
Yeah. I do. I mean, honestly, I do like the signing. You have a guy that knows your clubhouse, knows the guys in the clubhouse, and understands. He understands the game. He's got a lot of big league experience. Hopefully, he takes that knowledge and in Louisville and helps those guys work through some processes of how to become big league pitchers, how to work strike zones, work at bats. Things like that. For that end, it's really good. I really hope they don't call him up when we have 3 catchers.
Yeah.
I mean, can I say that out loud?
We can say that, yeah.
But, I do hope for the aspect of being a guy working with a veteran guy, being able to work with young pitchers. I think that end is definitely good. And also working with young catchers, if he's going to be in that role, because he is a fairly good defensive catcher, or he was.
Good point.
He's older now, but he was still a fairly good defensive catcher. So being able to work with those guys and be around those guys every day as well. So I mean, on both ends, I think it's good. Do I want to see him called up? Not really. I mean, but if they do, I mean, they do that. If they do it, I mean, I can't say that I'd be mad about it, but I can't say that I'd be like, oh yeah, Tucker Barnhart.
Right. I'm looking right now at his non-Reds numbers. If you could just wild guess top of your head.
Okay.
What his highest OPS was in his 3 years that he wasn't with the Reds. Just your highest guess, your best guess.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you it's going to be wrong. It's going to be much lower than you're going to think it is, but.
Oh, much lower? I mean, I was thinking like 380, 386, 3.
Okay, OPS. Okay. Yeah, so it's higher than that.
Okay, all right. 600s.
Okay, it's a little lower. It's 554 his year with the Tigers. 554 OPS.
You said low. I was like, he could hit crap. I'm like 386, 400. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, this is a guy who's he had his 2017 season. He wasn't bad. He had a 347 OBP. So he was literally 750 OPS. He was average.
Yeah, that's average. Yeah.
But other than that, so his OPS in Detroit was 554. His OPS with the Cubs was 541. His OPS this year with the Diamondbacks, albeit he had 96 plate appearances, was 497.
Oh man.
But for the sake of a veteran, for the sake of having a guy who's been around, 2-time Gold Glover, Reds fan favorite, guy who Branch says could be a coach in the Red system at some point.
Yeah,
love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, feels like they signed Jake Taylor from Major League.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. They took a guy that has got experience. He's, like I said, he's a good defensive catcher, or he was a good defensive catcher, and he can show guys how to work. So
yeah,
if that's why you signed him, to come in and be around those guys and do that type of stuff, then I'm good with that.
Would you say it's more Jake Taylor from Major League or Crash Davis from Bull Durham?
Ooh.
These are the hard-hitting questions to come to Late Night Reds for, people.
Man, he may be more Crash Davis.
I think you're right. Yeah,
he may be more Crash Davis.
Yeah, I could see him punching a guy at the bar and being like, "By the way, I'm your new catcher."
I'm your new catcher.
By the way.
Yeah, I can see that.
I know neither of our wives are watching right now, so I can say Susan Sarandon in that movie, smoking.
Ooh.
Smoking.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness.
God.
And I'm a Susan Sarandon fan. Like
Same.
I find her.
She's a legend.
She's a legend. She always is good in every movie she's in, and she's. In that movie, ooh, yeah,
bro. That
Yeah.
opening like scene when she's like narrating, just talking about why she loves baseball, and I was like, all right, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Bristol? Are you excited?
Yes, I am, because that venue is a really cool place to see stuff.
I'm
And
stoked.
yeah, so to have it there, it, I guess I'm a fan of crossover stuff. You know what
Me
I
too.
mean? Because people that are know Bristol for NASCAR usually don't probably aren't the same people that watch baseball games or watch the Reds or the Braves.
Mhm.
So it's a big event. It'll be a nationally televised event. It'll be something where everybody that knows Bristol will want to see how they're going to fit a baseball field into Bristol.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think for that, it's going to be really cool. Then you'll have Ellie. Hopefully you'll have Ronald Acuna back. You'll have some young stars. So, I think you took two really good or hopefully good teams with young stars, and you're putting them on a big stage. I like it.
I like it too, man. I think it's gonna be really, really neat. I know I've seen like Hunter saying there. A lot of people were like, "Why didn't we just make it where it was the Polo Grounds again?" And that kind of made me laugh. I've seen some visual, just like sketches of what it could look like, and it looks pretty neat. I'm
Hmm.
really curious about. I talked about this Friday when I recorded with Nate and Bill. I'm really curious because the jumbotron, how it's in the middle of the infield, where like the
Yeah.
wires are coming from each side of the arena of the stadium.
Hmm.
If you hit, like, is it going to be like punting at a Cowboy stadium?
At a Cowboys.
Like, if
I
you hit a
know.
ball, is it going to be possible to hit a ball off that, or are they going to like probably take the dynamic of the field itself and probably try to crush it in a little bit so that doesn't
Trying to put,
happen?
yeah, that's what I would assume. They'll play around with it and try to angle where it doesn't come into play.
Yeah,
So I would hope anyway.
I feel like I should know this about you with how long we've been friends. Are you a NASCAR guy? I'm not, but
Yeah, I will say this. So I am an old school NASCAR guy.
okay,
So if to go back to my NASCAR history, like I was a Jeff Gordon. I was a Chevrolet guy. So
okay.
Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like I followed those guys. Like those were
Oh,
my
okay,
guys.
sure.
So when those like Jeff Gordon was probably my favorite guy, but when those guys retired, I kind of fell off of it a little bit because
Mm.
I got busy, didn't watch it. But yeah, I was definitely when like mid '90s, late '90s, early 2000s when those guys were racing. Yeah, I would definitely sit down and watch races. Yeah, I enjoyed NASCAR.
I will admit I was the ignorant guy who did not think they were athletes for a long time, and then I read more into it and was
Yeah,
fascinated by the stuff they go through.
yeah, dude.
So I it's still not my thing, but
Hmm.
I understand why people enjoy it, and I certainly respect the dudes who do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't control a car at 260 miles an hour going in circles.
no,
I for sure couldn't. But I was the guy that was like, all they did was turn left, and I was very
right.
wrong. I mean, I can
Yeah,
you guys see it. If I'm wrong, I admit it, and I was wrong about that. So I definitely apologize. I gained a ton of respect the more research I did about it. But I I love NASCAR '98. It was my favorite game of all. It was one of my favorite video games of
yeah,
all time. You remember
yep,
the Sony PlayStation actually had the steering wheel as the
yeah,
controller you could
yeah,
plug in, and you could actually like that
yeah,
was cool.
absolutely.
Had Molly Hatch's "Flirting with Disaster" blaring throughout the game. I think it might have been the only song they got licensed because it's the only thing that played during the
Let
game.
it play in that game.
Yeah, you're like, all right, we're at Talladega. I'm
Yeah.
driving down the road and
The
I'm flirting with
road.
disaster. Uh,
Yeah. But no, man, it was so much. It was there was so much to it as far as like strategies and points, and
dude, for
like it
sure.
was just really cool to watch. It was I found it enjoying, especially when you had guys you could root for and teams you rooted for and guys you hated, and I was not a Tony Stewart fan, you know, but yeah, it was cool.
Talking about, I will say, Days of Thunder is an
Yeah.
all-time movie, and we grew
Yeah.
up in Cincinnati, so Kings Island had the. Do you remember the old Days of Thunder ride where it was like
Yeah.
in the theater
Absolutely.
and the
Yeah, and
chair
they just
moved? Like
shake you around.
that was my favorite thing as a kid. Are we
Yeah,
even
it
talking
was
about
awesome.
baseball at this point? Do people like tuned out? Couple of comments I want to make sure I go through real quick because a lot of people have brought it up. So Bristol Speedway. Carrie's talking about they're promoting Ellie big time. Yes, for sure. Ellie and Acuna were actually on the graphic.
Yeah, they were.
Hunter asked, did they choose the Reds and Braves just because Ellie and Acuna? I think so.
1,000%.
And I would do the same thing. 1,000%. Carrie said,
I'm telling you, you're gonna be shocked how much you're gonna see Ellie in the offseason, dude. I'm telling you.
I am. Yeah.
They're gonna strap a rocket to that guy. I mean, and because he's must see. He's must see, I'm telling you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm 1,000% with you. Carrie says my brother-in-law is a tech director for sports, so he's pumped. I bet.
Oh wow, yeah,
that's neat. Yeah. Branch, I used to go to Bristol every year before they changed the track. I would have to. I'm sorry, Branch. Excuse my ignorance. Please, how do you know how they changed the track? Are you familiar at all? Or
yeah, I think they. I don't know if they repaved it or they did something with it. I wasn't really sure.
You know what I really liked was they had Ellie tape the thing for social media to promote the game where he's doing the opening from Cars, where he's like, or he's Lightning McQueen's he's narrating. Yeah, I thought that was neat. Josh Beckley, I was a Dale 88 Quality Care Ford fan at that time with Ben, and then Carrie. So you merged Talladega Nights with Bull Durham. There you have it. I like it.
There you go.
I like it. I like it. And then Josh, unpopular take, but I did not like Earnhardt.
Oh no, I listen. There are a lot of people that did not like Dale Earnhardt. I mean, it's a and there's a lot of people that didn't like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Because of Dale Earnhardt. But no, I'm with you. There were a lot of people that were not a fan of his.
Interesting. So I'm learning this whole thing. I've never been to a race, but everyone who's been to a race tells me two things. One, it's incredibly fun, and two, it's some of the best people watching you'll ever have.
Facts. Yeah. Absolute facts.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I think it's a neat thing, like you said. A couple years ago, the Reds got to do the Field of Dreams game. I thought that was cool. So I'm excited they're getting picked for this as well. So let's, I guess, get back to talking about the Reds. I don't know. I guess. Is that why you guys are here, right? Dude, when we were doing the show this year and we were talking about all these different performances, the last guy as I thought that they'd be talking about? Santiago Espinal. But
yes.
My guy's on a heater. We can't even we can't ignore it at this point. Santiago Espinal's last 15 games has an 816 OPS with 4 homers, 11 RBI, 10 runs and 24 hits, and had the biggest hit today, before the Ty Steve home run that breaks the tie. But how? I don't know. Is this legitimate? Is this going to last? No clue. No clue at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, not
but in the moment, I am very much enjoying watching it because Lord knows this team needed someone to pick up the bat and help out Ellie in India. Friedel's kind of done a little bit, which has been nice with kind of hitting 3rd and 4th in the order, which is weird to me. But, I don't make the lineup, as C. Trent says. But I really... it's been nice to see. We knew he was a solid fielder. I know he was an all-star a couple years ago, and that's what people were kind of talking about. Hey, this guy was an all-star. He might be able to do it. But last year, excuse me, got some reflex there. He was not very good. And then this year he's been really, really bad. Then all of a sudden, these last handful of games, he's been pretty solid. What are your thoughts on Santiago Espinal and his obviously Alex Rodriguez type?
Honestly, like the way his year started out, it was definitely not expected. But I'm glad he is doing this. I'm glad he's starting to play well. It is a bright spot in a kind of a lackluster season. I mean, for him to come and do this and put these kind of games together. But we knew the ability was there. The guy has the ability to do it. It's just putting it back together. So you see that a lot of times with a lot of guys that have success early and then they have a fall off and then they try to put it back together. So maybe he's figured something out where now I don't think he'll stay this hot, but maybe he's figured something out different with his swing. Maybe he's done something different. But it's nice to see, like you said, it's cool. to see other guys come along besides India, Ellie, and Ty Steve. So if he can stay hot and we can get another bat hot, he may be able to put something together. But it's really cool to see him have that success because of his struggles last year and the earlier struggles this year. See him put some stuff together, put some quality at bats together. He's had some quality hits. He's had some big time hits in this stretch, driving in runs and doing some things for the Reds. So we knew the ability was there, but it's glad to see it start to come to fruition.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a big reason they're not in last place anymore. But you know who's in last place? Guys, we all know who's in last place. Come on, let's all say it together. Let's all say it together. Those bum-ass Pittsburgh Pirates are in last place. Those bum-ass losers in those stupid colors and that dumb, stupid stadium that everyone just adores and that dumb baseball team with that stupid organization have lost 7 in a row. And they've won 1 of their last 10. They're bums. They're losers. And Paul Skeens keeps pitching the way he does. I hope he does because they won't be able to afford him soon, and they'll have to trade him at the deadline.
He'll be a Yankee.
Yep, and piss off Pittsburgh, as we all know. So I just want to make sure I got that out there. But back to Santiago Espinal. So the wild card race was very kind to the Reds today, and Espinal definitely helps with that. So the Mets just got smoked by the Mariners.
They did.
The Cardinals, I guess, forgot how to play baseball. Oh, no, they're still getting smoked by the Mariners. Excuse me. It's 12-1 in the top of the 8th.
Yeah.
So that's good news. Let's see. The Marlins pulled off a win against the Padres. I don't think the Reds are catching the Padres, so it doesn't really matter. The Rockies beat the Braves today. The Tigers beat the Giants. The Dodgers beat the Pirates. So it was a good day for the Redlegs. They really needed a day like today, and Espinal contributing to the big win was pretty fantastic. So, yeah, I am excited to see it. I'm with you. I don't think he'll be this hot by any means, but I think if they can just kind of get him to kind of ride this for a couple more weeks until Noelvi starts to get more and more comfortable to help the team out, it's going to be huge. I really do not I still don't really love him playing in left field.
No.
I don't enjoy that. But
no.
Josh says the bums live in Chicago. I don't hate the Cubs as much as I should. I'll admit that. Just because Wrigley's freaking cool. It's so neat to go to. I can't even front. And stuff like that. And yeah, so the Padres, if you're following the wildcard state, I just think the Reds are going to have a hard time catching up to them because they're awesome, even though Arias is out, looks like, for a short period of time. But yeah, want to make sure we gave Santiago Espinal his flowers because I think we haven't done that at all this year. So that was nice. Let's talk about one of the newer acquisitions here. Let's talk about Ty France. And what a weird slash line. I know last week we had a lot of fun at Mr. France's expense, and I know that the basketball teams had fun at France's expense. Oh, it's a different France. Sorry, I just got it. But this is weird, and it's kind of funny because Ty France is literally, guys, that guy who's just like on your softball team that you're like, he's like, I don't care about hitting balls in the gap. I don't care about smoking line drives. I'm here for dingers, and it shows. 11 games, has a 289 on base percentage, but is slugging 472 in 36 at-bats.
Wow.
My guy is, I don't care. I'm just swinging for the fences every time. And so this has been, but it's been nice because they probably needed that in the lineup. I think he's been, for being a late pickup where you traded nothing basically for him. You take it, man. You take it. So,
Yep.
So hopefully this keeps going.
Yeah, he definitely has been what you expected, right? I mean, we weren't expecting him to come in and be Aaron Judge. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we were expecting him to come in, be a little bit of power in the lineup. You know what I mean? Be able to hit some long balls, do some different stuff. We weren't expecting him to be the savior of the lineup by any stretch. But,
you hope not.
Right.
You hope that's not the
idea. Right, but he's doing. I mean, he is doing what you expect him to do, right? I mean, he's He gives you an extra first base glove. He's hitting, he's hit a couple home runs. He's got a high slugging percentage. He doesn't get on base very much, and he's batting 250. That's kind of what you expected.
He's,
and you got him for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, he's the adult version of Big Al from the Little League World Series. You remember that kid a few years ago?
I'm Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Yep, that's Ty France right there. So, yeah, Hunter says 97 weighted runs created plus for the year. I don't know why the Mariners are eager to dump him either, because they really haven't set the world on fire until the last short while. Shout out to my beloved Seattle Mariners. Just 3 games out of the last wild card spot. So, do your thing over there, guys. You can't do it with Ty France. So, haha. Luis Castillo pitched today, by the way, against the Mets. And
that's a sensitive subject.
Yeah, it's always a treat. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 9 Ks.
That's a touchy subject. I don't want to talk.
Remember that.
About it, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. Could you imagine having him and Hunter together?
We don't talk about Castillo. No.
It gives me an ouchie in here,
bro. Dude,
don't want to talk about it.
It's the only one of all those guys that left in that group that bums me out.
Yep.
It's the only one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We talked about this last week when people were like, they should go try to get Jesse Winker in the offseason. I'm like, stop. No more platoon BS. But Luis Castillo,
that one still hurts.
By the way, we're already through 4 of our 5 planned segments, and we're at half the time we normally do. So I really hope people have questions, or we might have to cut this early on a Sunday. You go back to school this week too, don't you?
Yeah, we start the kids go back on Thursday, and we go back tomorrow. So.
In that case, this might be a good thing for you. So
could be.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the last segment here, and then if people have questions, and we'll hang out and we'll answer them. It's the Rumble with the Redbirds, baby. St. Louis comes to town. The Reds have played pretty well against the Cardinals, big picture this year, and I feel good actually about the pitching matchups. Sonny Gray's last matchup with the Reds did not go very well. It's his first time back at GABP since he left Cincinnati. Would have been cool if he was pitching at GABP with the Reds, but whatever. Going against Andrew Abbott, who they need a big start from him because he has struggled a little bit of late. He's walking a lot of dudes. They need him tapped in here because you pull off 2 or 3 in this series, and we might be having a different conversation next week. So you got Andrew Abbott against Sonny Gray, fun matchup. Tuesday you got Hunter Green against Eric Fetty, also a fun matchup. But I fully suspect Hunter is going to do his thing that day. And then Wednesday you have Carson Spires against Kyle Gibson, and let's see how that goes. I know we talked about the Brewers series being so important this weekend, and it didn't go their way, but they need a good series. They need at least 2 out of 3 from this series. St. Louis has not played well for a couple weeks now. They're losing ground from Milwaukee. They're losing ground in their wild card advantage as well. So this is something where if you're the Reds, you're catching them at the right time. You are coming off that much needed win against the Brewers. You're coming off a winning week when you, again, play the Marlins, but you can only play who's on your schedule. As we say each and every week when we talk about when they beat some of these mediocre or meh teams. So this is a huge game, man. You need this one. And so this is a big series. I don't know how much more I can hype it up. Just find a way to win at least 2 out of 3. But if you want to sweep, let's sweep.
Yeah, I think that I know we say that like series are big, but this one, man, it just feels like there's something. Yeah. Something has to go well for us this series. It's a division foe, a team you're trying to chase, and you've got an opportunity where it lines up. You go against a guy that you hit pretty well in Sonny Gray, which is not the norm this year because he's pitched really well. You've got a Cardinal team that's fallen off a little bit, and they're not playing well. And you've got some pitching matchups. Like I don't know about Andrew Abbott, but we know we have Hunter Green going. and the third day is a toss up. So if Andrew Abbott can give you a good solid start, and we can get on Sonny Gray, I think that is the key game to this. If we win the first one, I feel pretty good about winning the second one, and then
Me
the
too.
third one's up in the air. So we've got to get this first one. Andrew Abbott has to come back to form and pitch. He's got to get to 6 innings. He's got to give up less than 2 runs and give us an opportunity to win that baseball game.
Did the Cardinals have today off? Who has the off day in the MLB on a Sunday?
Did they really?
I couldn't find a box score. They did. They ended their series with Kansas City yesterday, and they got smoked. Hate to see it. So, yeah, I mean, looking at their lineup, let's see. You're looking at like Alec Burleson's having a decent year. Obviously, William Contreras is. Arenado has kind of stunk. Goldschmidt's kind of stunk. Nolan Gorman has kind of stunk, though he had 3 hits in their game yesterday. Tommy Pham back with the Cardinals. Don't know if you knew that, but
I did.
He likes to go back to GPP and slap some people. So let's see if he's going to be doing that in this series. Hate to see him, but this is going to be. So you follow up this Cardinal series, then you play a really good Royals team on next weekend. You get Bobby Witt against Ellie De La Cruz. How one of those 3 games is not a national game, I don't know. But yeah, the Cubs are off today too, according to Kerry. Who's off on Sundays in Major League Baseball? Who did this?
Yeah, that very rarely happens.
Yeah, it's once in a blue moon. Did they? Because they traveled from Kansas City to Cincinnati. It wasn't like they traveled from Los Angeles, or Anaheim. Yeah. It's
right.
I don't understand, but whatever. Cardinals are stupid people. The Pirates are in last place, and the Reds are going to win this series. All right, we're calling it here. We're back on this, baby. We're going to go in this Kansas City series with Nick Martinez and Nick Lodolo ready to deliver the goods and have a really fun series because we just took out the Cardinals at home. We speak things into existence. Last week we said the Reds need to win a Sunday game. They won a Sunday game. All right?
Yes, they did.
The Reds are going to win a series against the Cardinals. The Reds are going to win a series against the Cardinals. All right? We're doing this.
So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is left for us as the Reds as an organization? What is left for them this year to get themselves into contention for a wild card? What do you see needs to happen in order for them to be a wild card team?
Well, the obvious is
I'll ask the chat too. Chat can answer too.
Yeah, please. The obvious is you got to find a way to string some wins together, and I feel like they just have not been able to do that all year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they might get like 2 or 3 at some point, but they score runs. I mean, that's not the issue. I know they only
they're plus 40 run. They're plus 40 run differential for the season.
But Kerry kind of asked it earlier. Has the starting pitching kind of lost it a little bit? I think you can make the case it has with how Lodolo struggled. Carson Spires and Andrew Abbott have been up and down. You're relying on Hunter and Nick Martinez to kind of carry you for a few weeks down there, and they got to get one of these other guys to step up and kind of get back to what we think they are. Because I don't think Graham Ashcraft's going to pitch for the big league club again this year. It doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't sound promising. And their bullpen's getting healthier. Emilio Pagan's back. He pitched today, so maybe that's going to help as well. But man, I just wish Matt McLain were healthy, because I feel like if Matt McLain's healthy, we're really talking about this team potentially be able to put something together, because they're not far out in the wild card spot.
No, not at all.
Let's see. Let me look at it real quick just to make sure. The difference is not the games in the wild card spot; it's the how many teams you got to jump is the hard part. So they're 4.5 out of the wild card, but they're behind the Cubs, Giants, and Cardinals. And the final spot right now is a tie between the Mets and the Braves, but the Mets are going to lose today. I can't imagine they're going to score 12 runs in the 8th and 9th inning on the road. So
right, no, absolutely.
So you have to kind of you're going to gain a game there. So really, you're probably talking you're 4 games behind the Braves for the third wild card spot. Yeah, find a way to string some wins together. Let me look at the schedule coming up after this Royals series. Toronto and Pittsburgh and Oakland for 3 with Toronto, 4 with Pittsburgh, 3 with Oakland. Take 7 out of 10 there. You don't have a choice. Take 7 out of 10 there.
Yeah.
Sounds like our old friend may be playing for the Blue Jays come next week.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope he hits a bomb and just like in the Rogers Center off of somebody. I do.
Not Hunter Green though.
Not Hunter Green. No. But
Carson Spires. Okay, I'll give you that.
yeah, just a tank job. I hope he bat flips. I hope he does a cartwheel on the first base line because how he was treated on his way out. Nah, dog.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, there's very few guys. There's very few people that I see traded to go to other teams and they have to play their previous team that I would want to see them succeed against a team that I like.
Right.
And he would be one of those. Like, I want him to play extremely well.
Me too. Call me a bad Reds fan. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I want to see him play extremely well. And it's not for like, oh yeah, well, that's all hindsight. Hindsight's whatever. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I just want to see him play well. Just because he's I just feel like he got a raw deal. I mean, he got a raw deal here. So if he comes in and he does what we think he can do, that would be really cool to see. And it's kind of sentimental, like for me, because it's like that's our guy. Like, that's our guy. You know what I mean? So, for him, I hope he does well.
Josh says, Steve-O tells him what's coming. He just crushed it. Is it like the scene in Space Jam? Curveball, don't swing.
Yeah.
Don't swing. That was going to happen. That obviously leads, I have to ask you this question as a New York Football Giants fan. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way about Saquon Barkley since it wasn't his fault? He's not a Giant anymore.
1,000%.
Okay.
I hope he runs for 500 yards.
Yeah.
Because we're idiots. Like, I do. Like, and it only makes it worse that they made a Hard Knocks about it, because then you see how dumb we are.
Oh my God!
Like so then it just really pisses you off because that stuff you usually don't get a chance to see, like the behind the scenes, like, oh, was he being a jerk, or was he like, no, like, you guys just didn't want to pay, like what are you doing? We'll wait and see, let him do. No, that's Saquon Barkley. He's the only reason people come to watch the Giants. Like, he's it. Like, nobody's coming to watch Daniel Jones. No, like, he is the guy, and you guys like, And then the owner's like, oh, it would break my heart if he went to Philly. Well, then what are we doing?
Right. That's such a Reds move. That's such a Reds move right there.
Come on. So, I would feel exactly like I want Saquon to run for $150 and 2 touches. Like, even though the Giants are my team, I'm like, yep. Like I just hope he crushes you all just because you guys are idiots.
I'll tell you this. That year that Dalton played for the Cowboys and they came back to Cincinnati, I was really glad that he just threw the ball all over them. Burrow was hurt, so the season was over. So
all right, yeah.
So I was really glad that Dalton just came in here and just wrecked them. It was awesome. All right, well, let's see. Carrie says, "What if these kids want to win? They stand at the management DB and let them play their game." I don't think that's going to happen. I would love it because that would be great, but look, guys, this organization doesn't care. Don't listen to any of these Nick Kroll truthers out there who are like, oh, this elite pitching staff that he built. And it's like, shut up. Like, Hunter Green dropped in his lap. All right. Like, Nick Lodolo dropped in his lap in the draft. Nick Martinez was a great signing. I'm not taking away from that. It looks better and better every time he's on the mound. But there are very few of those. So Hunter talked about earlier, Andrew Abbott's peripherals aren't great. Buck Farmer's baseball card numbers look great. Have you looked at his baseball savant page?
I've not.
Quite a bit of blue.
Oh man.
Yeah. Man, it's brutal. Well, hey. Yeah, string some wins together, figure something out. Start with the St. Louis series. Figure out a way to be competitive with the Royals and maybe get a couple there. and we're singing a different tune next week, man.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sing a different tune. I want to talk about this team making a run here. There's a reason that the playoffs were extended to have more teams get in for teams like this.
Yep.
And
Yep.
look, get newsflash. Baseball wants Ellie De La Cruz in the playoffs. They do.
Oh, you are not lying about that.
Yeah, they have
You are
1,000%.
not lying about that.
It's like when the NBA did the bubble and they like found a way for the Pelicans to be competitive for the playoffs, and I was like, oh, weird how that happened.
Yep.
So
yeah.
All right, dude. I think we should probably just go ahead and crack this before we start talking about random things. Because I don't know. Do you want to talk about like 2028 that Olympics that they're gonna let baseball be on there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So 2028 baseball Olympics. I don't honestly, and I don't know enough about baseball prospects or guys that could be on that roster. I don't know. But dude, baseball. Anytime baseball's on an international level, it's amazing. Like the World Baseball Classic, dude.
That was awesome the last time.
It was so good.
It was, man.
Because like even if you're not, I mean, of course you're rooting for America, but dude, watching the pride, like Puerto Rico and the Dominican, dude, like watching that pride of those guys playing for their country. Like I feel like that's how it's going to be in the Olympics. Like those dudes are going to want to play. The best players are going to want to play on that roster. They're going to want to be there. They're going to want to represent their country, and they're going to want to win. And that's going to be the best baseball of all.
Can we get Ellie to pull a Joel Embiid?
I know. I'm from America.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I think Aaron Judge has already said if they do let major leaguers play, he wants to play. So I feel pretty good on the start.
Well, if Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge 4 years from now, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's get it. Because
I would feel great.
I'm trying to think, because if they do what the Olympics normally do, where the games are in Los Angeles, so they'll play around like different places in the area. So like, are they going to play like pool play in minor league stadiums? Because if they're going to put like Aaron Judge in Sacramento playing at the,
I know. I would assume, if I had to guess, I would assume that they'll use. I would think they would use West Coast stadiums, kind of like when the Olympics, they use Tahiti for the surfing thing, because of course you can't surf in
right.
Paris, I don't think. So I think they'll use like West Coast stadiums, maybe use San Fran, wherever Oakland's playing at, maybe they'll use that. They'll use different. I think there's different major league stadiums that they'll use. I mean, they're going to have money. They'll be able to fly people around.
They'll be fine.
And those games are spread out, so they'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh man, we have a baseball team in the opening ceremonies. They just immediately got 2 hours longer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1,000. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Pat, have to play at Williamsport. Let's go.
Dude, that would be incredible. Could you see Aaron Judge in a home run in Williamsport? Just in trees into people's houses. You're like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Please do this.
That would be incredible.
Oh my god, I really want this now. Actually, let them play with aluminum bats too. Let's just go ahead. Let's just go all in.
Listen, they play with aluminum bats. Somebody could get seriously hurt. Dude. Some of those things are so illegal and hot. Like, yeah, dude. Jeez, oh, Peds, yeah. If they get a hot bat, it's over.
Yeah. So Carrie just asked 2028 team who would be in it. I mean, that's hard. We probably don't have time to break down a 26-person roster, but I would say I'd feel pretty good that Paul Skeens and Hunter Green are going to be on the team.
I would, yeah. Paul Skeens, Hunter Green. If Aaron Judge already said he's in, Judge will be in.
Bryce Harper will probably play if he's
Bryce Harper will probably want to still try to play.
How old will he be at that point? Let me look.
He'll be pretty old.
Will he? I'm trying to think, because he's been in baseball for like 75 years.
I was going to say, well, he started when he's 19 or 18 or 19.
Holy shit, he's 31?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he's up there, dude. He'll be like 35 when the Olympics roll around.
I mean, Joey Votto's still really good at 35.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm definitely not saying that he couldn't do it. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's so
many guys.
I would love to say Mike Trout, but We don't
Bobby
know.
Witt.
Yeah, Bobby Witt. That's true. You mentioned the World Baseball Classic earlier and how cool it was. I totally always forget that the last at bat of the World Baseball Classic was Ohtani versus Trout.
Just Trout, yeah.
It's the only way you can see that. It's the only way you
Yeah.
can see that is the World Baseball Classic because obviously they're now it's not because one plays for the Dodgers. But
Right.
I don't know. Is he going to pitch again? I hope so, but I don't.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah,
I think he will.
we should one of these days, like, we got 4 years. One of these days, I'll sit there and do a full breakdown of my predictions of the USA baseball roster.
I'll tell you what, that's right up your alley because you have knowledge of guys that are prospects that have a possibility of playing. And
I really don't. I really don't.
Listen, I'm putting pressure on you. You got to do some homework.
I would definitely do some homework. Like, don't be wrong. I can lay out a nice map of the 2028 men's basketball team. But baseball, that's a whole other story.
Dude, there's so many guys, though. Dude, there's so many guys that do. Like basketball, you're like, oh yeah, who's going to be like? You're like, okay, Jason Tatum's still going to be pretty good. Jaylen Brown's still going to be pretty good.
Tyrese Halliburton,
like that one's pretty easy. Yeah, like it'll still be all right.
Baseball, it's like Dylan Cruz.
Yeah, you're like, it's who's going to be good in 4 years.
Yeah, Tyler Stevenson, could he be the catcher? I don't know.
Hi, Steve.
He's hitting bombs right now. I think he just hit his career high today, passed his career high.
Was that today? Wow.
I think it was. Let me look real quick. And then we'll actually leave because we full on Midwestern this episode. Pretty soon we're going to be doing immaculate grids on the show for you all.
I know, dude. But some of that stuff is just fun to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. Today. Actually, no. His career high was 13 from last year. So he passed it with the home run before today. So today he hit 15.
Good for him, man. Like I said, I like Ty Steve. I'm happy he's having a bounce back year and that he's really healthy. Like he's truly healthy.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, man. It's been awesome. All right. Let's get out of here before this goes off the rails any more than it already has. But once again, I want to say thank you all so much for always supporting the Riverfront, always supporting us here at Late Night Reds. We're definitely appreciate it. Things to look to that we're going up for is don't forget, Welcome to the Jungle with Joe and Parker. They should be back this week. And you ready after we got to see a little Joe Burrow action yesterday. That was nice to see. Looked nice.
Looked good.
Whew, that was fun. That's exactly what from a preseason game, right? One series, score a tutty, and leave. Exactly what you want.
Barely break a sweat.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so they're going to probably break that down, get you ready for, is it the Bears the next game? I don't know.
Yes, it is. It's the Bears.
It's irrelevant. But also check myself and Sean and Parker out over at NBA Happy Hour. And of course, everything here on the baseball channel. So you have myself and Ben, you've got Chad and Nate and their crew, Chris and Bill, whoever fills in. And we got a really fun Red Leg Roundtable this week, Ben, coming out on Tuesday. Seth chatting up with the one, the only Bip Roberts.
Oh, cool.
So that goes up on Tuesday. You definitely want to hear it. It's an awesome, awesome interview. Awesome. So definitely check it out. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the bell for when you know when shows are going up. Subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice. Give us that nice solid 5-star review. Buy cool stuff at riverfrontcincy.com. On behalf of Ben Brown, this is Tim Daniel. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you next week.
Go Red Legs.